Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is a strange one. I'm down in the middle of Dublin in Grafton Street, or not Grafton Street, in O'Connell Street at the moment. And there's a protest about to begin with regards to immigration and lack of control of immigration in Ireland. And I just thought I'd bring you along and let you see what happens, because I actually don't know what's going to happen. There's a horrible feeling in the city at the moment. There's a very strong sense of, there's a tension that I've never experienced before. I love this part of the city, and I understand people want to stand up for their rights, and I wholeheartedly agree with that they should be allowed to. But there's a massive police presence here at the moment. And I've watched Gardaí move people on from various sites, and they're just lads standing around. Now, I don't know why they're being moved on. I genuinely don't know why they're being moved on. I think they should have a right to protest wherever they feel like they need to protest. They're not doing or weren't doing anybody any harm. In fact, I spoke to one or two of them beforehand, and yeah, they were just here to exercise their rights, I suppose. So I'm gonna spin this around now, and again, I don't know whether I'm going to be allowed to film up here. I hope I am, because there's no reason why I shouldn't be allowed. And if I can, I will film the protest for you as much as I can and let you see exactly what's happening. Okay, as you can see, I'm coming up to the Garden of Remembrance here. Apart from a fairly heavy Garda presence, I don't see any mainstream media. And this is the thing, I suppose, that I find quite surprising about this, is that mainstream media don't seem to be covering it. You don't see it on the news, you don't hear about it, and yet the people are here. So why mainstream media is not covering it, I don't know. But there is certainly no shortage of people here exercising their right to protest, and rightly so. As you can see,
we looked after ourselves. We didn't look for €50,000 in free legal aid, 4-star medical cards, free housing, free accommodation, €40,000, €40 a week in go down money. We worked all over the world and we built it.
so as you can see, tension's quite high, but people have got opinions, and again, I don't understand why mainstream media isn't here. And that's actually surprised me, because I would have thought that Sinn Féin would have been behind this, that people would have supported it. But it just goes to show how politics have changed in Ireland at the moment. I mean, you went back 10, 15 years ago and Sinn Féin would have been leading this, as opposed to being on the wrong side of it. Okay, I'm going to follow this protest down as far as we go. Talk to you in a bit. Okay, as you can see here, there's a huge crowd is slowly starting to gather. What concerns me about this is the fact that these people are being... I've spoken to quite a few people here in the last few minutes, and they all said exactly the same thing. They're concerned about the fact that they're being claimed or being labelled as racist, as opposed to having an issue with undocumented people coming into the country, which is not the same thing. And as one chap from Newtown was telling me, he works and lives side by side with people from all different nationalities who all work, and like anybody doesn't have an issue, because I mean, I suppose the Irish as much as anybody, we can't complain about the fact that we've travelled all over the world, but we've worked wherever we went. That's what that chap was talking about earlier on when he was speaking. It's the fact that wherever Irish people went, we worked. And this, I think, has been blown out of proportion. The amount of Gardaí here is absolutely shocking at the moment. I think that's what's scary. What's not scariest about this is not the crowd, it's actually the amount of police. It's the fact that these people doesn't look like you can actually have a choice or the ability to speak your mind in this country anymore, and that's actually quite scary. Okay, as I say, I'm going to keep this up for a little bit longer. It hasn't started to move yet, but as I said, I'm looking at a crowd. There's not a huge amount of people here. There's no question about that. There are not a huge amount of people, but there are far more Gardaí than there are people at the moment, which is kind of concerning. I'm not sure where the last way.
Gary.
Okay.
Sorry.
As you can see, the crowd's getting a little bit bigger now. The people coming up from Newtown Mount Kennedy at the moment. The amount of people I've spoken to, and there's no question about this. This is a peaceful protest. My biggest question is the amount of Gardaí that are present for such a small group. This is the group from Newtown Mount Kennedy. Now, I have to say, I've only seen footage of the Newtown Mount Kennedy protest online, and it looks a bit exaggerated. The amount of police that are up there compared to it's just obscene. So as you can see, the crowd is growing. And I'm getting the same feedback from anybody that I speak to in here, and that is the fact that it's not that they're against people of colour or any other religion or otherwise. They are here purely because they don't think it's right that Irish people aren't being cared for first. And that's all this is about. It's not about racism, it's not about colour or religion, it's about whether or not we get looked after before everybody else does. As you can see, the numbers are starting to grow. These are the people from Newtown Mount Kennedy. Okay, looks like the protest is about to start, and again, I'm going to say before this moves, this isn't about racism, this isn't about race, colour or creed. This is about nationalism. It's a completely different thing.
It's about Irish people dying homeless on the streets and they're not cared for.
Do you mind being on YouTube?
I don't mind talking at all, no.
Sorry.
This is why I'm here. I have friends that died homeless on the streets. I have Irish friends who died homeless on the streets. I was homeless myself, and when I was down in Carlow, my landlord said he was selling up. I was told by Carlow County Council, go back to Dublin where you're from. That's what I was told. Now, is that racism? Because that I think very much is. In my own country, told to go back to my own county. You know what I mean? And I was renting 11 years down there. Now I'm still down there, but it took an awful lot to get a place down there through Christian groups helping me. If it wasn't for them, I'd be still on the streets today. They're able to do with places, massive buildings. I've been out in Coolock supporting Coolock. and a massive, huge building. You could put maybe 500,000 men into that, easy to put into it. And yet they're able to do that up for all these people coming in, yet they won't do anything for the Irish homeless people. And that's why I'm here today, to support our country and our people.
Thank you very much. And that seems to be the general consensus with people. It's not about racism. It's about nationalism. It's about finding homes, healthcare, and everything else that we're giving to the Irish. We need to give them to us first. Okay, I'm going to let this roll. Okay, as you can see, the crowd is actually starting to grow now. Now, regardless of your political views, this is impressive, and why it's not being covered, I don't know. And I can honestly say this isn't about racism, this isn't about politics. It's purely, I think, just Irish people just pissed off at this stage. And in fairness, the vibe here is very peaceful. It's strange to be sitting here in the middle of so many people. And as you can see, we have all age groups and all walks of life here. It's the most Irish flags I've seen since Paddy's Day here. Sorry. But as you can see, there's young and old. It's obviously something that's... So let me try and move to the front here. I'm assuming this is going to move off fairly shortly now, so I just want to get to the front of this. And let's see how big it is. Now, as you can see, there's a huge amount of police at this. Now, I don't think this doesn't look like anything other than a peaceful protest from where I've been. I've been up there in the middle of it all. And the sentiment is very strong, there's no question about that. The sentiment is extremely strong. Let's see what's going to come down. Okay, it's starting to move now.
Skinny jeans, hat, and uniform there.
Quite a large crowd here. Moment of silence for the children that were stabbed.
Thank you.
As you can see, people have their children with them. And I've spoken to quite a few people along before the demonstration started to move. And a lot of them are here for the simple reason that they don't think there's a future for their own children here in Ireland. As you can see, people are extremely passionate about it, obviously.
Five or six armed response here apparently.
The majority of people here, granted, are Dubliners, but there's a lot of people from outside the pale, so to speak. There's quite a few from the country down. So it's not just, this isn't just a Dublin issue. It's very much an Irish issue.
Yeah, you're right. I see
Any of them.
I see any of them.
Yeah, you can see it.
Lying and mendacity and that in the country.
Okay. See, that's the end of it. What can I say? I've been here for the last couple of hours, and there's a great sense of, I suppose, peace in the protest. There's been no aggressive chanting for anything other than, I suppose, rights for Irish people, and that's the vibe I'm getting off it. It's not. There's not the one thing that most people who I've spoken to, and I've managed to talk to about 10 or 15 people within the crowd, some of whom were quite happy to come on and actually speak, and they all had the same viewpoint, that it's not about racism. It's got nothing to do with race, it's got nothing to do with religion or otherwise. It's to do with rights for Irish people. And do you know what? There's no. In fact, one particular chap that I was talking to classed himself as extreme left wing, and he's here marching, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. You know, I suppose media will have you believe that this is a far right issue, but it's not. It's an Irish issue, and that's the feeling I'm getting from people I've spoken to, is that it's an Irish issue. It's not a left, a right, or a middle. It's not even a political issue, other than the fact that the politicians that we've got here aren't doing their job properly, and my personal opinion is they need to be replaced. But what you see here is a group of Irish people marching for Ireland for no other reason. They're looking for rights for Irish people. They're not. It's purely and simply Irish for Irish people, nothing more. I love the fact that even in the middle of something like this, you get a hawker selling Irish flags. There's always an opportunity to make a buck. So I don't know. I suppose I'm looking at this as well as an Irishman, and there you can see there is no issue. There's nobody afraid here. That's the thing I find here. There isn't fear. You know, I've passed a lot of people, a lot of foreign people, and not one of them appear to be afraid. Because it's not about that. And I think everybody understands that, with the exception of a lot of the media. I'm still shocked at the amount of police that are here. I don't think it's necessary to have the amount of police that they have. suppose this part of Dublin has seen more than its fair share of protests, but this actually, there's a very peaceful feel to it, there's no question about it. They are very passionate, there's no doubt.
Around this country. Right.
I'm going to follow this down as far as the GPO and we'll finish up down there. So as you can see, there's quite a number of people out. But again, it's funny, I was actually saying to somebody earlier on, there was more of a feeling, a tension on the street earlier on before the protest started. I suppose because I didn't really know what to expect when I came in here. I suppose you have to believe what social media says or what the regular media says. You were looking at mainly, I don't know, thugs and whatever all here, but that's not what you're getting, that's not what you're seeing here. You're just seeing ordinary Irish citizens who have a voice and they're exercising their right to speak. I mean, I'm listening to the chants, there's not a racist chant in there. I think people need to realise that this is...
Just get in the video there. Yeah, it's so easy to lose people like we know.
Say, okay,
Yeah, man, we're standing there.
I'm going to finish here and I'm going to let you make your own mind up.
Done with the clock.
This goes out unedited. This is what I saw, this is what I heard, and this is what people said to me. There's a lot of this, I suppose, people are unhappy with the government, the way things are being run at the moment, and that's what this is about. Ireland's just had enough. Simple as. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, hang on a second. I was going to stop for a second, but I'm not sure there's... Okay. Not sure what the flare over there is about. We're going to find out now in a second. Hold on a sec. Okay, now here's where there could be a problem, because there's another protest over here on the right hand side and the two of them have just met, so let's see what's going on. Okay, now that explains a lot. Now, what was or what appeared to be an extremely peaceful protest from the Irish point of view has suddenly changed. Okay, this could change. Okay, I'd made the point that up to here, the protest coming down had been extremely peaceful. And I'm hoping the amount of Garda presence here that it will remain peaceful.
Get them out!
The only way to see this properly is from the middle, so Okay, there's absolutely no question this has been a peaceful protest so far with the Irish, no question whatsoever. It's only started now since we've stopped here.
Keep moving on! Keep moving!
Random fucker that's pinching my arse. Is that an arse pinching protest you're on? In fairness, it's actually been very well marshalled. I know it's been policed extremely well, but it's also been very well marshalled by the lads here involved in the protest.
If I was that foolish enough to get lured into it, the whole financial system is still up. Scam. I'm not in it. We've got €300 in debt to the whole name.
Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. It looks like this is going extremely well and extremely peacefully. They were expecting some sort of thing to kick off there outside the GPO because you have a group of people, obviously, I think who've got the wrong end of the stick, because having walked the length of this protest with these people, the vast majority are peaceful. They want rights for Irish people. There's no racism here. There's no anything. Sorry, I got lost there for a minute. I'm actually watching as I'm walking. So that's it. Make of it what you will. As I said, people just seem to be very angry, very annoyed at the way this country's being run and the way Irish people are being made. The feeling is that the Irish people are made second-class citizens, and that's what they're annoyed about. Hopefully there's a resolution to it. Hopefully we'll figure something out. So, again, I'm not quite sure how to end this because it's not really that sort of vlog. It's been interesting. It's been an interesting one to do. It's certainly been an interesting one to follow down. But my opinion is it's an extremely peaceful protest. And there you go. I think we'll finish with that there. Hit the like, subscribe, bell for notification. Like I say, don't do these often, but it's one that needed to be done. When you live in Dublin, and Dublin is where I'm from, so this is an issue that affects Dublin. This is an issue that's affecting Ireland. It's not just Dublin. And don't forget that this is an issue that's affecting the whole country. It's not just affecting Dubliners. This is affecting the whole country. So maybe when politicians come to your door, ask them a few questions and see if we can shake it up a little bit. Take care.